Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream here for the Urban Gardener. Really glad to have you all along with me today. Sorry about making you all wait too there. Just trying to, as always, I've talked about this before in other live videos that I've done, is that I'm always packing so many things into my day, trying to get so many things done. And there was one last minute thing I just really wanted to get done before I got going here live with all of you. And it was really pressing. When you're in a hurry, you seem to like press all the wrong buttons, do all the wrong things because you're in a hurry. So just needed to kind of slow down and just kind of take things as they go and make them happen. So I'm really glad to have you all here with me. It's kind of cool to be back on doing some live streams here and publishing some videos for the Urban Gardener channel too. You know, it's been a long break that we kind of took over the winter and springtime, as I talked about last time on my last live stream, talking about some of the things and personal issues that I was dealing with, that kind of led to taking off more time than I really wanted to do. So it's really good to be back with all of you guys. So uh, let's see here. Tara's Path, how you doing? Thanks for joining me there today. And yep, there I am. Hello. Hello to you. Thank you for coming here and coming and checking out our live stream here. I was also in such a hurry, I didn't really get a chance to. What I usually do is kind of write down a few things that I want to talk about and all of that, so I can kind of keep myself on track about what I'm doing. So if we're all over the place here, then that's just the way it's going to be today, because well, it's the way I am on most days, so you'll know what it's like to just be right along with me there then, huh? Mark, nice to see you again. Thanks for coming in and checking us out here and seeing what's going on. Mark says, good morning. I was very pleased to see your growing peppers video the other day. Well, thanks for watching that video too. Like I just said there, it's been really good to be able to get out, make some new videos and get those published here on the channel and all of that. We did do a few videos, as Mark talked about. We put out a pepper video where I got all of my pepper starts all planted out in some spaces. We got a new space all set up. I built up this really cool wood apparatus for a lot of my 5-gallon wicking buckets so that we can put what used to be most of my pepper garden was up on top of the rooftop of my carport. I did show that too in the video as well. We're only doing about 4 or 5 different plants up there on the very edge and whatnot, just to kind of see if I can get away with it again this year. But most of the planters that I used for that garden specifically got moved down onto the other side along the back fence line that I have there. So I saw this really cool thing that someone built just out of 2x4s holding these 5-gallon buckets in them. I saw this on a gardening page on Facebook, and when I saw that, I was like, I have to build that. That's the perfect thing for what we got going on with the garden, the pepper garden there in the back area. So it's all built, set up. Go check out that pepper video if you haven't seen it already there, and see what we got going on there with that. Let's see. Terrace Path says, and your bucket planters are great. Yeah, see, now originally, a lot of our subscribers that I got over, let's see, starting about 2 years ago, because I made that first 5-gallon water wicking bucket build video about, like I said, about, I don't know, about a dozen or so episodes into my channel. And I just thought it was a really cool thing to share because I'd been using those for several years and they worked really well in my garden. So I thought I'd make a build video, and I didn't really think, I'm just a small gardening channel. And after the first winter of the channel into that next spring, that video just took off, man. A lot of people watched that, and we got a lot of subscribers to the channel just from that video specifically. So I thought this year it'd be really cool to kind of do a revisit the build on that video, kind of go through it again and show some of the differences from the first video and the second video, and also answer some of the questions that were being asked on that first video. I mean, a usual video for me, I get a handful of comments down below, a few different questions here and there. But when you've got, I think, around 130,000 views on a video, you get a lot of different questions and responses from people. So we went through some of those questions, and I answered them on our new 5-gallon water wicking bucket revisited video that we just put out recently too. So I hope you check that one out as well too. It's a really good video, and hopefully people who watched the original one will kind of check that one out and see some of the things that we've commented on and talked about since the first one that we did in the first year. Terrace Path asks, how many years do I have on YouTube? Well, I've got, I think this would be my third year, fourth year, fourth. Oh, wow. No, that's really something if you're really having a hard time saying really. I think it's my fourth growing season on YouTube, but my third year. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've done around 3+ years here on YouTube. Just get into that real quick for a moment. I spent many years here in my home just working on different things. My garden wasn't as big as it is years and years ago. I had just gotten started in doing outdoor growing food for myself. As you see, I do a lot of like indoor and have a lot of indoor house plants and all of that. And I've had house plants and kind of light growing plants for many, many years, since I was young. My mother grew a lot of house plants, and so that sort of thing was just kind of passed along to me into my adulthood. But it was about 8 years ago, I would say, that a friend of mine who knew that I really liked growing plants indoors came by and brought me a cucumber start, just a little cucumber start. And he didn't know what to do with it. I think he had gotten it somehow. I don't even know how he got it, but he brought it to me figuring I would know what to do with it. But I looked at that cucumber start and was like, I've never grown a garden per se, and never grew food for myself. So I just went with what I figured, belonged outdoors. I lived in an apartment up in Washington at the time, and all I had was this outdoor balcony. And so I just figured, okay, it belongs outdoors. Went and got it a pot, potted it up into this pot, put it out on the balcony. And over the next couple of months, that cucumber vined out and took over my whole balcony area, and ended up getting a good half dozen or more really nice cucumbers off of it. And it was the perfect first food plant for me to grow, because my daughter really loves cucumbers. I mean, I love cucumbers, but she really loves cucumbers. She can eat them all the time. It could be probably the one fruit or vegetable that she really would be her go-to. And so there we were, after I grew this plant out on the balcony, and we're chopping up and eating this fresh cucumber that I grew right out on my balcony. And just, it was an epiphany. It was just this boing light that just went off. It was like, wow, I can actually grow my own food. Here we are eating and enjoying this. And I just let it sit out on the balcony and watered it every now and then, So when I moved down here to Oregon, I would say maybe within about 6 or so months after I had grown that plant, I had more space, limited space, but just a little bit more space, with just a couple of areas of in-ground areas that I could grow. And so I thought, well, let's try some tomatoes this year. So, I figured I had the cucumbers down. We planted out some cucumbers. I went and got some tomato starts, and that's when I hit YouTube. I went to YouTube to start looking up care instructions and videos on taking care of and best practices for gardening and tomatoes and all of that. And watched a bunch of different videos and caught on to one of my favorite basic gardening channels. He's more of a variety type of vlogger. He also does indoor plants as well, but it's Ray Browning. with the channel Praxis 55712. So you just search in Praxis 55712. If I remember, I'll put a link down in the description after this stream is done. I started watching his videos and learning how to take care of tomatoes and whatnot, and from there just kind of got hooked on his channel and a bunch of other people's channels as well who gardened, and other channels too that weren't even gardening specific. It was just what kind of led me into YouTube. And so for several years there, I had just, you know, built up my garden and did a whole bunch of different things out in the back. I have a back cement patio. I've got spaces along my alleyways and all of that that were kind of inspired somewhat by channels that I had watched, and my neighbor who also grows in the alleyway as well too. So from there, things just kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I started doing more and more and more. And a lot of my neighbors and friends and people, you know, basically asked me about sharing these and doing something with it to show people what I was doing, because they thought it was really cool and unique what I had done. In fact, if you go back to my first year and some of my older videos, I've got some videos on my pepper garden I was talking about there just a minute ago. That I grew up on my rooftop of my carport, you know, and people would come by and ask, you know, what that was that I was growing up there. In fact, I got a video where one time I had the local police department show up to my house to ask and find out and get a chance to inspect what those plants were up there on the rooftop. I think one of my neighbors had called in and thought maybe I was growing some marijuana plants up there or something, but you know, so, you know, it was kind of unique, you know, and something people were interested in. So at first, actually, I started by doing a Facebook page, you know, locally, and did like a local Facebook group on urban gardening, and shared a lot of the stuff I was doing. And then kind of along the way, just kind of figured and decided, you know, I can just take my cell phone out and start making some videos, and learned about video editing, and did all that sort of stuff, and started putting together some videos and started the Urban Gardener channel. And that's kind of basically, you know, real quick how it kind of all got started. But it all really kind of started from a little cucumber plant when it comes down to it. Let's see here. Tara's asking, I am a suburban farmer and enjoy your videos. I plan to start my channel in a month or two and excited. Well, awesome. Awesome. I'm really excited for you too, and really encourage you to go for it, do it, enjoy it, and get out there and show people what you're doing. You know, you can't have enough content when it comes to growing your own food, in my mind. You know, and it's been a real kind of life changer for me in a sense. You know, I really enjoy sort of this kind of the change in things and what I've been doing here because of YouTube. You know, I've gotten to meet so many people and gotten to go on so many really cool, as I call them, garden adventures, you know, and got to do some really great videos. So like I said, if you or anyone else hasn't had a chance to kind of look through my video library, hit the video tab for the Urban Gardener channel and kind of go through some of those old videos there. I've got a couple of playlists as well too you could check out and see some of the different videos that we've done there as well too. But I really, like I said, I really encourage you. I can't wait to see what you got growing on in your gardens. So I'll definitely I'll definitely have my eye out and looking for what you're doing on your channel too. So thanks for sharing with us too. Let's see here. Oh, Jenny. Hi, Jenny. How are you doing? Good to see you there. And she says, yes, fresh food is very important. Yeah, it is. And it's really cool if you can grow it yourself. All right. Let's see here. Let's take a drink here. One of the things I was doing before I got here on the live stream was working outdoors, trying to get some chores done and everything. And it's still in the middle of summer right now. Nice warm day. So kind of trying to cool off here indoors just a little bit. Let's see here. Mark says, I'm in what you would probably call zone 13. So I'm experimenting a lot with what grows here. 13, wow. That's Oh my, where, in fact, let me know where exactly that is that you're at. Zone 13. I'm in zone 8B. So, and just kind of, 8B. So I'm just kind of north of zone 9 too, which would be basically Northern California. I'm in Southern Oregon here. Um, so zone 13, I'd imagine you've got a lot of ability to grow some, maybe possibly even some subtropical or near tropical type of plants if you handled it quite right. Getting maybe grow some avocados or different things like that. That would be really great. A lot of things that I just couldn't grow here. I tried growing an actually a blood orange tree here over the last couple of seasons, and with my zone and the winter times here, it just really didn't work out for it well. I tried bringing it in actually this last year, and it's a bit cumbersome to try to bring a big container tree into your house. So it didn't really work out and didn't do very well at all. So, but I'd really like to be able to grow some of those types of things. Oh, Mark says he's right up at the very top of Australia. So you're joining us from Australia. Oh man, I really wish I could be there. I really wish I could see some of the things that you're able to grow there too. Maybe someday I'll take a trip to Australia and I'll come and visit and see what you got going on there. I also, there's a channel too I like to watch from Australia. Um, oh gosh, if it comes to me, boy, I'm having a hard time remember. But it's a gentleman named Mark as well. Does that channel? Well, I'll figure it out. I'll put a link down below too after this video is over if I can. Um, Mark says, please do. We'd be happy to see you. Yes, thank you, Tara. Self-sufficient me, Mark. Yes. Now that guy's got a lot of cool things growing. Yeah, and you probably have seen him too as well if you're from Australia there too. I really like his channel. In fact, Mark was one of those first channels, Self-Sufficient Me, that I really caught on to when I first started watching YouTube and gardening YouTube videos. And this was back, I'd say, before Mark even hit like the 20,000 subscriber mark. And he was wondering whether or not it was something that he was going to continue doing or not. I remember when he was trying to make that decision whether or not he was going to keep his channel and keep going forward with it. And kind of really glad that he did too, because he's really got a lot of great knowledge. He's got a great space for growing, really cool orchard. All sorts of different things that he's got growing there. So I know you guys have checked out his channel, but if anybody else is watching this live stream right now hasn't seen the Self-Sufficient Me channel too, like I said, I'm gonna try to put a link down below there after this live stream's over and share that with all of you too. I really encourage you to go there and check that out. So like I said, it'd be really cool to make a trip to Australia. I've really thought about that a lot in my adulthood, how cool it would be to take a trip to Australia and see what it's like. And it'd be really cool to go and visit you, Mark, and Mark at Self-Sufficient Me too. So look, I've already got some cool plans. So, maybe we can make them happen over the next couple of years too for the channel and make a really cool garden adventure. All right. Let's see. One of the things I was going to talk about today, and I'm not sure exactly how long I'm going to keep this live stream on for, but we'll see kind of how things go. So far, everybody's asking questions and keeping things going. So as long as we're kind of chatting there in the chat box, I encourage you to get in there and let me know where you're growing from. If you're here, if you haven't said hi at already, I'd like to know that you're here watching. So please let me know in the chat there. One of the things that I was checking out earlier too on the computer, and I'll talk about one of my other projects that I've got going on here in just a moment. But one of the things this time of year, it's beginning of August, And one of the things I'm really looking forward to, besides getting to harvest some of the things growing on in the garden, is the harvest festival called the National Heirloom Exposition. Now that's in Santa Rosa in Sonoma County, California. And this year was going to be the 10th anniversary of the National Heirloom Exposition. And as you well know, all around the world, we're all dealing with this coronavirus that's happening right now. And it's been in the back of my mind over the last several weeks that, it's probably going to be something that we might end up missing this year. And wouldn't you know it, I go on to go check out the website, and it didn't say right on the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, which is rareseeds.com. And Baker Creek is the company that puts on that National Heirloom Exposition. And their events page is the one I've been checking in with to see what what the updates for that were, and I hadn't seen anything on there. So I just kind of Googled the National Heirloom Expo, and one of the first ones that shows up is the Sonoma County Fairgrounds page. And right there, first link, everything says right there, canceled. So there it is. No National Heirloom Exposition this year. Man, and that's a real bummer. I've gone to that exposition for the last 3 years, and it was really like one of those things that after my first year on YouTube and with the Urban Gardener, because I'd watched, like I said, several different YouTube channels and gardening channels, and one of them in particular, John Kohler. A lot of you might know if you've been in checking out different gardening channels out there. John Kohler has done a video tour of the National Heirloom Exposition every year. And so for several years, I would watch these different videos that he'd put out each year about the National Heirloom Exposition. So I knew at the end of my first season with the Urban Gardener that that I was looking forward to going down there and meeting John Kohler and several other people as well, but also to get to make my own video and everything too. And so I've gotten to go this last, 3 years, gotten to meet a lot of really cool people, did some really cool different videos. I think that might be one of the playlists I have on the main page for the Urban Gardener page too, is some of the videos that I did down at the National Heirloom Expo, which has got some really cool little interviews with some other YouTubers and YouTube gardeners, as well as, just a really cool look at such a really cool event. So it's really going to be a bummer to not be able to go down there this year. Like I said, it was the 10th anniversary. I was really looking forward to some things that I was working on to do some videos. I had been talking and discussing things with Jerry Gettle, who is the founder of Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, and talking with him about doing some sort of YouTube specific type events there at the exposition. So basically it gives us a whole nother year to kind of work and make those plans just a little bit better, and hopefully put on a really cool event and some cool live events from the exposition this next year. I did actually do a live video this last year too, so like I said, got a whole bunch of cool videos on the main video page you could check out on all of that sort of stuff. Terrace Path says, just bought and received my first Baker Creek seeds, some for the fall garden and the rest for spring. What is your favorite plant to grow, and what is really prolific up my way? Okay, well, first of all, like I said, Baker Creek is a really great seed company. They put out a really cool seed catalog called the Whole Seed Catalog. They have a regular free one that they send out every year if you just get on their mailing list. But they put out this really cool seed catalog, the Whole Seed Catalog. And it's like, I don't know if you remember being younger and they'd have these big toy catalogs, or like the Sears catalog, J.C. Penney and whatnot, put out these big books, and it was just really kind of cool to flip through them and kind of wish you could get and mail order a lot of this different stuff. And it's the same thing with the Whole Seed Catalog. They put these great pictures, have a ton of different varieties of heirloom seeds, and just creates just a great wish list, and I love getting on there and ordering a bunch of different seeds every single year from Baker Creek. So hopefully a lot of those that you've got will grow really well here in your fall garden and this coming spring garden. I grow a bunch of different Baker Creek seeds in my garden too. You ask, what is my favorite plant to grow? I have to say it's a specific plant, and it's only for a real reason. Getting back to one of those original YouTube gardeners, I watched Ray Browning with Praxis 55712 channel. He developed a tomato plant called the Prax Cherry tomato plant, and several years ago, he had decided that he wasn't going to grow it anymore and offered to give away seeds. And he had this really cool seed giveaway on Facebook, and tell you, it was really specific too. He has a lot of followers, so he was like, I'm going to be on Facebook at like I think 4 o'clock or something like that, and I'm just going to put up a post that says, you know, Praxis cherry tomato or something like that. And all he wanted everybody to do who wanted seeds was to get into the comment section and type in the word cherry. And so I got on Facebook and I was waiting for the post to pop up, and I was ready to type in cherry and all of that because I wanted to make sure I got it. I think he only had, I think he said like 150 packets of these seeds to give away, and I wanted to make sure that I was one of them. So I waited for it to happen, and there it was. It popped up. Praxis cherry tomatoes. I get in the comments section and I go to hit cherry, and as I'm doing that, I notice that, I mean, it's literally like people are typing in and they're posting, you know, just boom, 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 like this. I mean, it was that fast too. And I get in there and type cherry and enter as fast as I can, and bam, hit it, and it's in there. And like I said, it just kept going, boom, boom, cherry, cherry, cherry. I mean, it must have been 1,000 people or more got up on there trying to request these seeds. Now, luckily for me, I think I looked down there and found that I was like somewhere around 140, something like that. I mean, I was that close to missing out on getting these seeds. But I grew those out, and I've grown them out every single year. In fact, in my garden on the side of the cement patio area that I have, they grow back every single year as volunteers. And I just let some of the cherry tomatoes, as they fully ripen on the plant, fall off. Whenever they're ready to fall off and hit the ground and do whatever they're going to do, I just leave it be, let nature take its course. And every single year they pop up, and I pick the biggest, strongest ones in the area, weed out basically the rest of them, and grow out those every single year. And I enjoy them. They're my favorite tomato. They taste delicious. They're probably the most delicious tomato that I've tasted, whether it's cherry or regular full-size tomatoes. And I really like tomatoes. I grow, as you've seen, possibly, I did put out my tomato video just recently as well, too. So I grow, you know, a dozen or more different varieties of tomatoes in the gardens. But the Prax cherry tomato is one of my favorites to grow, too. And if you want to, and if you get a hold of me, or possibly get to my Facebook, maybe I'll try to remember to put a link to that as well down in the description. If you can get a hold of me somehow there, and let me know if you would like some of those Prax cherry tomato seeds, I could get those for you too. I have I have a whole bunch of those seeds, so if anybody's interested in growing that themselves, I could do that for you too. What is really prolific up my way? Prolific. I grow so much different stuff, and you know, right now I'm gonna have to say that my cucumbers are probably the most prolific thing I've got. I've literally ended up with several different volunteers popping up out of a couple of different areas that I'm growing, and so I'm getting all these different varieties of cucumbers popping up everywhere. I've got so many. I'm trying to figure out how to maybe ferment and pickle up some of them as well. And like I said, tomatoes. I've got eggplants growing out there. I'm getting a bunch of those starting to pop out right now as well. Haven't done so well with my squash and melons this year as I'd like to. I've had several really good years on those as well. Um, Pumpkin, I've got a cool pumpkin that's growing out in the alleyway right now. I've got a couple of really good, nice sized ones growing out there. So, those are pretty good and grow really well in that area that I grow them in. Um, lots of different things, a lot of different greens and everything that will be getting started here in fall, spinach and things like that. I like to grow during the fall season. Get a lot of those different plants that pop up and volunteer for me and whatnot. Um, let's see here. Last Moral Fibers up here and says hi to everyone. Hi to you. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us here on our live stream today. And says that they're growing from zone 6A, so you're up a bit north there as well. A bit of a cooler zone, but this is probably right in the middle of really the best time of year for gardening there. Is there anything that you're growing specifically that grows really well in a zone 6A? And Tara, too, I'd ask as well, too, the same very question to you. What's your favorite thing to grow? And what grows really, really well for you? Not just Tara, but anybody else who's watching as well, too. Get in the comments there and the chat and let me know what you're growing this year in your garden, what's really doing well, or what's really not doing too well. Like I mentioned, my melons and my squash. I got one good spaghetti squash right now that's actually kind of taken off and growing up one of my tomatoes and up the fence and around the other side and all of that, popping out some fruits and everything right now too. So I got one that's doing really well, but some of the others that I've got aren't doing that good. I've had some good years with some melons, musk melons, cantaloupes, and watermelons as well. And this year, they're just not really doing all too well. And I'm not too sure exactly what the problem is that I'm running into. But usually in the spaces that I grow them in, they grow pretty good. But that's one thing about gardening. Some years things are just really great, and some years they just really stink and don't grow well at all. And I would say too that anybody who's new to gardening, if you're new to gardening, don't let those sort of things get in your way either. If you're not having success with some plants and whatnot, that might just be that season. It's happened to me several different times where certain things just didn't grow well in a certain season. So keep growing, keep trying them, try them again next year, and maybe, look into some different practices and whatnot and see whether or not, that you can get them growing in other seasons. Gardening's a lot of trial and error when it comes down to it, and, so don't be discouraged with anything not doing too well for you in your garden this year. All right, let's see here. We've got Jack joining with us. Hi, Jack. Thanks for joining there. Jack says that he's in zone 6A2. Any suggestions to start now? Harvested a bunch this week and opened up a lot of space. My spaghetti squash did great, but got stem borers. Oh, that's one thing I haven't had to deal with yet, and I read a lot about, is the squash vine borers that get in there and really destroy a lot of people's plants and whatnot. I've been lucky that I haven't had that or had that problem yet, but I'm sure it's bound to happen sometime here in one of these seasons coming up. Says a lot of space is opened up. Yeah, a lot of space. If you're harvesting and when it opens up, I'd say in 6A right now, it's a good time to probably get seeds started, or if you haven't already, get some seeds started for fall planting, and start using some of those spaces to grow some greens, or radishes really grow well, I would say at this time of year for that zone. I wouldn't say, well, not radishes, maybe radishes and maybe about another few more weeks. But, get things get yourself a fall crop of, carrots or something maybe. just all sorts of different greens and things like that as well too. Just get some seeds, look into some of the fall things that you could be growing in your zone. One thing for me though too is I have to say is I'm not from the zone 6. That is a couple zones north of me, and I haven't had the experience of actually gardening and growing during this time of year, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what to do, but I would figure that it's probably the best time in that zone to get started for your fall gardening too, especially as you got some spaces opening up. Let's see. Last Moral Fiber says, peppers are always good here. We got lots of peas also. Yeah, see, and there's another one for 6A. Plant up some peas too, because it's going to start getting cooler, and peas enjoy a cool weather as well. In fact, that's another kind of plant that I've got a lot of growing out in the back area too, is beans. Got a lot of beans, different varieties of beans growing. I didn't grow very many bush style beans, which is what I usually grow throughout the different seasons, but this year I decided to do a lot of different vining beans, and I set up this cool like wire trellis that goes between me and my neighbor's place, so that I could have some beans grow up and along the wires and everything, and utilize that area where it gets a lot of really good sun. So they're really kind of vining along that space right now too, and getting ready to put out a lot of beans. So looking forward to harvesting some of those up too. Jack says, cool, thank you, you're welcome. And I really hope that your gardening goes really well. I hope that you get some really good stuff. How to garden, how you doing? It's good to see you back here. Says, hello, urban gardener. One thing too, I'll mention as well there, how to grow. Mentions, hello, urban gardener. And yeah, I am an urban gardener. Hope you're all urban gardeners, as far as that goes. One thing I would say though about the channel, a lot of people asks or even says, you're the urban gardener, and I am a urban gardener, or an urban gardener, I'm not sure, but but the channel, the Urban Gardener, is kind of a general title and a channel name for the Urban Gardener. I kind of thought of it as the channel is ultimately becoming more of like a video magazine in some sort of way, and I thought it'd be kind of cool, the Urban Gardener. But a lot of people, say you're the Urban Gardener. I had a lady at the National Heirloom Expo last year from England, show up to the National Heirloom Expo, and she had pointed me out as I was talking to a couple of different friends and stuff, and said, "Hey, you're the Urban Gardener." Blew my mind. I couldn't believe it that someone had recognized me, from such a small gardening channel like I got and all of that. But that was really cool, But I'll respond. I'll say hello back. And Mark says, you are the Urban Gardener. Yeah, I'm one of the urban gardeners out there in the world. Which anyway, kind of gets me to one of the other things that I was wanting to talk about before I get out the live stream here, is about YouTube and all of that. One of the things that I really, first off, I just really enjoy YouTube and sharing my gardening experience, my gardening adventures, and putting together videos. It was it's kind of different. I have a lot of people ask me about what it's like to get in front of a camera and do all of this sort of stuff, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. But after about 3 seasons, I'm feeling just a little bit more comfortable in doing the videos and things that I'm doing, and trying and learning different video editing techniques and all of that sort of stuff. So the Urban Gardener has been really, really great adventure for me to to explore and all of that, leading all the way up to doing these live streams and all of that. But one of the things is it's very specific. It's gardening. And there's different genres of gardening, I guess you could say, out there, and a lot of that going on. But that's, what the channel's about, is different aspects of gardening, different things that involve the gardening space and all of that. And so it's kind of, when I'm out there doing filming or I'm doing videos and stuff, it's kind of just limits me to, that sort of thing specifically. And, I really enjoy that. But I also get the chance to go out and do some really cool stuff. And one of the things that I thought about this last year when I was in Los Angeles, and I was going around and meeting up and doing some different videos with people and some interviews, and I was out doing some stuff. Like, one of the things you wouldn't think about Los Angeles is it's a really great city to hike in. They've got, just tons of hiking trails there, and I really enjoy hiking. And it was one of the things that I got to do while I was there, in between making and videos and doing the interviews and everything. And while I was out hiking, I was like, how cool would, be to be able to make videos showing some of this stuff as well. So that's where kind of the idea for the next thing I wanted to do, YouTube, kind of got started. And was an ability to do things that are a little bit more personal and have to do with me and the things that I'm doing in my life and all of that, versus just the gardening stuff in general. So I started about a couple of weeks ago a whole new YouTube channel, and it's called Enoch Vlogs. Now, my name's Enoch Graham, so the name Enoch Vlogs is a video log channel for me to do some of those videos, to show some of the other things going on in my life, some of the hiking trips and some of the different adventures and things that I get on with, and something that I can do just on a more regular basis. And along with some of the urban gardener stuff. So in a way, it's kind of a behind the scenes look at some of the things that are going on with me and the channel and all of that sort of stuff. And so one of the things I was working on just a little bit ago as well, before getting onto the live stream too, was setting up just a little video for this channel to put out, to get people to go and check out my channel, the Enoch Vlogs. And so I'm hoping that all of you too, I'm going to try to get a link here. In fact, let's see if I can't put that in the chat real quick. Let's copy that. And I'm going to paste this right into the chat. There we go. There's a link right there to my channel, Enoch Vlogs. And I hope that you all who are watching here with me live right now get a chance to go over and check that out. If you're watching this live stream on the replay, I hope that you all take the opportunity, and like I said, put a link down below to that as well. And I'll also have a short little video that I'm going to publish here in just a few to the Urban Gardener channel. In fact, I think we can get that done right now as well too. There we go. But yeah, it's really fun to get out and explore some of the different things that I've got going on in in new videos, in a new video format for myself. Let's see. Tara's put some photos out in hard copy and call it the Book of Enoch. Yeah. Maybe someday we'll have that book. I don't know if it'll ever really replace the original Book of Enoch, but we can probably try to put together some sort of book eventually, and I've thought about that, I've had that in the back of my mind as well, kind of putting together some sort of gardening book or something like that in the coming seasons. And so, something I might explore and check out, We'll check it out, have to run, supper calls, be well. Well, it's great that you joined with me here. I've got to run here pretty soon as well too. I just wanted to get on here and do a little live stream and catch up with you all. I'm going to be planning on doing some more live streams here real soon. and hope that you all keep an eye out for those as they come out and come and chat with me and talk about gardening and what's growing on with you and your gardening, see what's going on with me and my gardens, and you know, just get a chance to kind of hang out for a little bit. That's what's really fun about doing these live streams. It's a lot different than the whole video and editing videos and putting them together, you know. It's just to get on here and you know, just kind of free talk about different things and what's happening, you know. um, one of the one of the things I get to do with the actual videos and that I make is edit them, so I don't put in all of the different miss-ups and the times I stumble over what I'm talking about and all of that. And if you watch some of my channel videos too, remember to watch all the way to the end. It ends right there, you know, with that little green screen that comes up and says thank you. But if you wait until that's over, I put in some outtakes on each of my different videos on the Urban Gardener too. So if you haven't been paying attention or watching to the very end, you're missing out on some of the real fun stuff that happens while I'm filming some of these videos. So check out some of that stuff as well. What I need to do sometime is actually try to go through some of those videos and put together a best of the outtakes on the Urban Gardener someday. So I'll someday try to get together and put some of those videos together. But it's kind of a little treat I put at the very end of the videos for all those who stick around and watch all the way through our videos, and kind of show just a little bit of humility and what I'm doing and getting in front of these cameras and all of that. Not everything goes very well, and sometimes I stumble a lot over what I'm talking about. You know, as you can see here, it shows in the live streams where I don't have the chance or opportunity to edit any of this stuff out. So you know, but it's great to get up here and talk with you all, and just get a chance to share about all the things that we've got going on. Let's see here. All right. Well, everybody who's gotten in the comments section so far, really thank you for joining in the conversation that we've had here. And real quick before we go, I'm hoping maybe there might be someone who might have any more questions or want to say hi or let me know where you're growing from or all of that. You know, get in that chat box there real quick. Probably got just a few more minutes there before I end this live stream. How to Garden asks, what are you growing this fall? Well, that's a good question. One I still got to answer myself. I was actually the other day going through a bunch of my different seeds and all of that, and kind of trying to uh, put aside some of the different stuff that I'm thinking about growing, but I'm always thinking about more than what's actually going to be going into the gardens. Um, but I think that's going to be something that I'll be working on over the next couple of weeks, is getting some seeds started. It's still really hot right now, and I think we'll probably start the temperatures might start leveling out just a little bit here over the next couple of weeks, and at that point in time I'm going to really, you know, get going on the fall planting and or seed starting as it is, and pick out some of that stuff. But you know, some of the stuff that's going to be growing for sure will be greens. I love spinach, fresh spinach right out of the gardens. We'll be growing tons of spinach. I'm going to give a shot at some brassicas, you know, maybe some broccolis, maybe some more cabbage or something like that. You know, they take a little bit longer season, but you know, I probably have enough time to get those grown out. So we'll see about that sort of stuff. A couple of other projects that I want to do too, going into fall and winter time and all of that, is try to create some kind of small like hoop coverings for some of my raised beds, so that maybe we can prolong our fall gardening and get just a little bit more time for some of these plants to grow out. So look forward to that and some of those videos, because I'll be working on putting together a video for fall gardening here in the next couple of weeks too. So we'll definitely be answering that question with those videos. All right. So again, I want to thank you all so much for joining me here on this live stream. I know everything's kind of, you know, just kind of here, kind of all over the place when it comes to the this stream here. I didn't really, like I said at the beginning, I didn't kind of create a list of my things I wanted to talk about, so I'm just kind of going at it today. So everything's kind of just a little bit different with this stream, but I'm really glad that you all join along with me and listen to me rattle on about everything. Jack asks, am I on Instagram? And yes, I'm on Instagram, though I'm not the best Instagrammer. One of the things I've got to get better at too, and so it's going to be one of my goals over this next year, is to really start putting more content on Instagram and through Instagram. But if you check out Instagram, I think it's just the Urban Gardener 1 all together. The Urban Gardener 1 is my Instagram page or channel, or not sure what you call it. But there's a few things on there, and now that you mention it too, maybe it's a good idea for me to start thinking about working on that just a little bit more, and put more content on Instagram as well. Um, and How to Garden says, it was nice catching you live, Enoch. Thank you. And it was nice to have you here with me live too. So so with that, I think I'm probably gonna end it here in this live stream, and get back to finishing some of my projects I got outdoors that need to get done before it gets too late here. Um, let's see, we got one more. David Frana, thank you for joining me. We really enjoy your videos. We are in Southeast Nebraska, Zone 5B. Well, Nebraska, wow, that's great. Thanks for joining me from Nebraska. It's really good. I'm really glad that you've been enjoying my videos, and it's just one of the really great things. Again, I'll just say, is just a really great thing about doing YouTube and these gardening videos and all of that, is the chance and opportunity to get to know all of you. I mean, the gardening community is one of the best communities I've ever gotten to know. And like I said about doing this channel and everything, it's just really changed my life to, get to and know and get to garden with, and talk about all the different things that we're doing in our gardens and all of that with all of you out there. So again, thank you for joining my channel. Thanks for joining with me and all of your support and everything. That's one of the other things I was going to mention too. The Urban Gardener channel, I think we're just about 50 subscribers away from hitting 8,000 subscribers. That's just more than I ever dreamed of when I started my YouTube channel. I never thought I'd get more than just maybe 100 or two, when it came down to it. I was just really getting it started for all the fun and all of that. But to see where it's gone over the last few years has been just really, really encouraging about doing all this stuff, and, thinking about doing it more and more seriously too. So, that's one thing to look forward to as we continue growing on the Urban Gardener, is more and more content as we start building some of that stuff. Like I said, taking it just a little bit more seriously, as people have been taking my channel a little bit more seriously too. So I really, really appreciate every bit of support that you all bring to the Urban Gardener. It really helps, really makes everything worth it. So thank you all so much. And again, I want to encourage you all to check out my other project that I've got going on. I put a link in the chat there. I'll try to put a link down in the description below after this live stream posts, and go and check out Enoch Vlogs. It's been really fun too to put together some more personal videos that aren't centered around garden, although that I'm showing some of the garden in there as well too. So that's not missing from the videos on that channel. So I encourage you all to go check that out. And thanks again for joining me here on the live stream, and we'll see you again on our very next stream.